911, what is your emergency?
There are 3 dead bodies.
What is the address of the emergency, sir?
The graveyard in Verona County.
What happened, sir?
I found the bodies of young Romeo and Juliet together. One poisoned, the other one stabbed. And Count Paris was stabbed as well. Oh.
Okay, sir, stay calm. I'm sending someone on the way.
There's the Montagues, the Capulets' greatest rival. The Montague family recently accumulated their mass wealth through a successful entertainment company that was used to cover their mafia dealings, covering and raiding successful businesses along the East Coast. Their company premiered a weekly talk show episode that harshly criticized the Capulet company and how they obtained their fortune, which started their dangerously violent rivalry. Lord Montague leads the Montague family, company, and gang with a great passion. He's a very powerful man with a very wealthy company that only recently raised his family's status, class, and reputation. He has a deep hatred for all things Capulet, fueled by the many attacks that Lord Capulet ordered against them when the episode aired. Lady Montague was the definition of a perfect mob wife, emanating an air of luxury, confidence, and pride. It's a shame to say that this tragedy has influenced her death to occur, for she was so devastated by the loss of her son from his banishment that she died of a broken heart. Speaking of her son, Romeo was a 16-year-old lovesick teenager that ardently cared for those around him, which was represented in his love for Juliet Capulet. Romeo was a brave and impulsive young man, and his family is mourning the loss of the wonderful child. Lady Montague's nephew, Benvolio, is a cordial and compassionate individual that Romeo would rely on. He was able to lighten Romeo's mood when he was feeling hopeless. He is also believed to be a peaceful person, despite his involvement in some gang conflicts with the Capulets. Although he's not related to the Montague family, Mercutio was an important friend to Romeo and fought for the Montagues during gang conflicts, which ultimately led to his untimely death at the hands of Tybalt Capulet to protect the young Romeo. Here are the Capulets, the East Coast's most influential family. Meet Lord Capulet, the patriarch of the Capulet family and a devoted father who bonds with his children through their passion for pickleball. He's incredibly rich, and the majority of his wealth is generational, as his family founded the biggest oil tycoon in the entirety of the United States. They've been using their massively successful business to cover for the family's most recent gang activity. Here's Lady Capulet, the woman behind it all. She's a classic, responsible mom who spends her afternoons playing her beloved pastime, pickleball. Her greatest muse, her daughter, Juliet. There's Juliet, who was the most popular girl in her school and all others in every neighboring county. Juliet got whatever she wanted whenever she wanted, but did her best to stay humble. Then there was Tybalt, the Capulets' fiery nephew. Although their shared blood gave the rest of the Capulets a sense of empathy for him, they didn't necessarily entertain his actions. He had sadly gotten into a fight with the Capulets' greatest rivals and lost his life. Lastly, there's the nurse, who was Juliet's primary caregiver and treated her as her own. She's not a real member of the Capulet family, but they welcome her as one.
The two gangs would start anything, anytime.
You wanna go, bro? Hey, not the hair, not the hair. Whoa, 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 whoa.
It was really interesting how they would go from 0 to 100 in the blink of an eye, over the most trivial of matters. Members that were not immediately considered part of the gang took part in this violent rivalry. This truly shows how deep a conflict can cut, and how few people holding a grudge can change the course of history. There is a pattern we see here. More often, the Capulets instigate the fights. The fiery Tybalt is always seen at the scene, and he was often the first to draw his weapons, ultimately leading to his demise. The frequency of these outbursts led to Mr. Prince to impose. He said that if anyone were to lead another altercation again, they would be sent to prison. But there was one person missing in the midst of all this. Romeo. He was the gang leader's son. If anyone, he should have been the one leading it. However, Romeo was a hopeless romantic. He sort of fell in love with anyone with an impulse.
Investigators are bored with photos of all the people who were interviewed and involved in the situation between Romeo and Juliet in any way. The team of investigators that I'm currently working with, which is completely aware that Romeo and Juliet took their own lives. But is there someone to blame for their actions? Someone who motivated them, convinced them, or even pressured them into meeting their deaths.
Yeah. I feel like my cousin was like a peacemaker, you know? He was like a dreamer. He was also kind of a freak, don't get me wrong. But I remember he was down in the dumps about this girl, Rosaline. I told her he could do better. She went to boarding school just so she didn't have to date him. I mean, you do you. But in all seriousness, he was very passionate about everything and about the aspect of love so seriously. The day we tried getting Romeo to come with us, me and Marcusio, and when we... Yo, Ma, I told you to stop coming in my room when I'm filming. Sorry about that. Anyways, the day we tried to get Romeo to come with us, me and Marcusio, and when we finally got him out of his bedroom, this guy approached us and invited us to crash some fancy party.
Okay, ready?
Oh my goodness, she's beautiful.
Whoa, I'm sorry. What's your name? Juliet. Yours? I'm Romeo.
There's this beautiful blonde-haired girl at the party. He's immediately drawn to her and they hit it off. They exchange a few words of banter and kiss, not even 20 minutes after they met. Her name is Juliet Capulet.
You know what? Heck yeah!
He thinks he just met the love of his life. He is immediately over his heartbreak over Rosaline, just like that. His ability to rebound is incredible.
Oh, my sweet Juliet. She wasn't even 13 when she met him. Her mother was always pushing her to get a boyfriend. Specific boy, Paris. His father was some big wig at a multi-million-dollar company. He was set to inherit all of it. She would have been set for life. Her father, like any normal father, that she was far too young to even think about dating. Let alone thinking about her future. She didn't even get a chance to live. Oh, my Juliet!
Do you need a moment?
Yes, please.
Are you ready to continue?
I am ready. Juliet was the sweetest little girl I've ever nursed. I basically raised her. Her mother had a strict hold on her. As I said before, she was pressuring Juliet to give Paris a chance, but I think that she only agreed to appease her mother. I could tell she was more interested in getting to know another boy, Romeo, after they met at the party.
And how did you feel about the relationship between them?
I can't say I was delighted with how fast they wanted to get married. I was definitely unsure if Romeo's intentions were true. But once I discovered that he didn't love her, I helped them to get married.
Despite not knowing that Romeo and Juliet got married at the time, you eventually did find out. How did you feel about your daughter's affection for your rival's son?
Obviously, we were both very upset when we found out he killed our nephew, and it did not help that we had already arranged a marriage between her and Paris.
Yes, we thought that it would be for the best for her to be with Paris after more consideration, despite my reluctance at first. When she refused, I lost my temper and shouted at her. After her death, I found out about her relationship with Romeo. I just didn't think it was possible she would fall in love with our enemy, but if only I had known.
I knew Romeo fell in love very easily. I thought he was so hung up on another girl. I never would have thought that he fell in love with one of our rivals, but I wish I did. My wife and I were too preoccupied with his banishment, which sadly influenced her death, to notice their relationship. I just wish I would have realized so late. Too late.
It is evident that the feud between the Capulets and Montagues caused both of the families to be critical of Romeo and Juliet's relationship, but all of them expressed some sort of regret about how their reactions and actions influenced the tragedy. Despite the secrecy they were forced to maintain with their relationship because of the reactions they expected from their families, Romeo and Juliet continued to deepen their relationship, not able to forego any time apart instantly after meeting. I guess you could say the two immediately hit it off.
Teenage love brings me back.
Why did I have to fall in love with Montague? Why? Why did we fall in love with each other in the first place if our relationship wouldn't have even been able to work out? And don't get me started on my family. Who thought it would be a good idea to make me a Capulet? If only it were that easy.
Juliet, it's me, Romeo.
Romeo, oh, how I've missed you. I've been thinking about us. Oh, but you have to get out of here. No one can see us together.
I'm not leaving you now. I love you, Juliet.
Oh, Romeo. Well, I feel the same, but...
I swear, I will love you forever. Now, let's get out of here.
Romeo, stop. This is all happening too quickly. Now, Romeo.
Juliet! Finally, you're back.
Romeo, I just realized I can't live without you. Let's get married. I'll send someone at 9 in the morning tomorrow. They'll decide if you're honorable.
Really? Oh, Juliet, I told you it would work.
Romeo, go. I'll see you soon enough.
No. Juliet, in now.
Go before you get killed.
Love between Romeo and Juliet only blossomed even more after this. Almost instantly, the wedding date was set for a lovely morning in springtime.
Would you mind telling us about what happened when Romeo and Juliet started expressing interest in each other?
Actually, I found out about Romeo and Juliet at the Capulets' spectacular company party that they host every year. It's a huge New York thing, but anyway, Romeo got invited through a friend of a friend and wanting to meet up with some ex-girlfriend who never fails to attend parties like these. But Juliet came up to me asking to find more about this guy she saw who was dancing away, and I ended up finding out he was a Montague. Even though their families are rivals, I saw how happy Romeo made her, and I never wanted to interrupt that.
That's amazing. So, did you do anything special to help out their relationship?
Oh, I'd like to think so. I helped plan their secret little marriage. I would deliver messages to and from. Oh, I even gave Romeo Juliet's ring one time. So cute.
Did you always feel this way?
Well, no. After Tybalt died, everything changed.
More gang violence occurs between the rivaling Capulets and Montagues, this time with detrimental consequences. The pattern aforementioned by the gang violence specialist, Miss Sinclair, is again represented in this brawl when Tybalt Capulet instigates the fight by searching for Romeo Montague to challenge.
Conflicts between gangs, especially ones with deep rivalry, can be instigated by many things. Between the Capulets and the Montagues, I find that fights are started to defend the name or the honor of the gang, which is suggested in both Mercutio and Tybalt's actions. The feud has been established between them has caused Mercutio and Tybalt to ignore the orders of Mr. Prince, risking a death sentence. Benvolio Capulet tries to remind Mercutio of this, but the two men are too focused on their duel to stop until it's too late.
Two promising young lives were lost due to the feud that the Capulets and Montague gangs have. This interaction not only produced casualties, but it also impacted the life of Romeo Capulet.
Come on, quick.
Obviously, gang violence impacts societies greatly. It affects everyone in the area drastically, and in Verona County, this is no exception. The conflicts between the Capulets and the Montagues forced Mr. Prince to make a decree that if any violence in their city was punishable by death. But these young fighters ignored this order. And this, like all gang violence, had devastating impacts. Through the research I have conducted about the motives of these two gangs, I have recognized that this feud has directly facilitated the violence by influencing gang members to pick fights to show power and honor they hold in their society. Some fights are also motivated by the desire to avenge one's fellow gang member.
What is this? Explain, Benvolio.
As you can see, a fight broke out. Romeo killed Tybalt after Tybalt killed Mercutio. My nephew is dead. Punish Romeo for killing my nephew.
Benvolio, who started this fight?
Tybalt did. He killed Mercutio after Romeo tried to intervene to break up their fight. My brave friend Mercutio, your relative, he died. And Tybalt fled. Once Tybalt came back, Romeo and Tybalt fought, and Tybalt died. Then Romeo fled, realizing what he had done. This is the truth I tell you, or let me die.
Let him die. He's a Montague, so he is lying.
Romeo killed Tybalt and after he killed Mercutio. My blood has paid the price of your feud. I hereby declare Romeo will be banished from Verona County forever. If he ever steps foot in this city again, he will experience the death penalty.
Hey, Juliet. I have to tell you something. You might want to sit down for this. I don't really know how to phrase this, but Romeo and Mercutio just got into a very big fight with your cousin Tybalt. And things did not end very well. Mercutio was killed by Tybalt, so Romeo ended up killing Tybalt.
I don't know what to say. I can't believe this. How could Romeo do this? And poor Tybalt. Tybalt.
I couldn't believe it either. Shame on Romeo.
What? How could you say that? I love him. I can't betray him now.
You're right, Juliet. I'm sorry. You know what? I'll arrange for you to see him again before he has to go.
His banishment? What? From Verona? This can't be.
Better than being put to death, I suppose. Look at it this way. I'll find a way for you to see him again. Leave it to me.
Mr. Friar Lawrence, what was your involvement with Romeo and Juliet?
Once the two had decided to get married, Romeo had come to my cell, asking me to officiate their wedding. I was skeptical at first because I believed that Romeo was still in love with Rosalind. But after some convincing and time to think it over, I agreed to officiate their wedding.
Is that all?
Well, no, there's more. After the prince had announced Romeo's banishment, Romeo ran to my cell where he stayed until he had to leave to Verona County. I was there where I helped him see Juliet one last time.
I just can't believe it. Banishment? What am I going to do? I love it in Verona.
Well, you do owe the prince your life, Romeo.
Oh, Friar, you don't get it. I'd rather be dead than be away from Juliet.
Stop being dramatic. You will see her again. Trust me.
What? I can't.
Yes.
Hello, Friar Lawrence. Romeo. Oh, you're here. Oh, wait, do you have any news of Juliet? Yes, she's heartbroken. Your poor decisions have pulled you two apart. It's your job to fix this.
We can come up with some kind of plan. We don't have much time and we need to be smart about this. Any wrong move could kill Romeo.
Yes, a plan. Any ideas? Wait, let's go now. I can't wait.
No. Wait until the sun sets at least, but you won't be able to stay long. Why don't you leave next morning for Mantua Beach? Then I could try to fix a few things here in Verona. Leave it to me.
Sounds perfect, but I have to run. Thanks. It's barely 11 in the morning. I have to wait so long.
It's fine.
I can't do this.
Else?
I met one last time before Romeo had to leave in the morning, and I met with Juliet one last time to help her avoid her marriage with Paris.
Well, I lost my wife most of all. She couldn't handle her only son having to leave. It's been pretty hard on myself as well. My company fell to pieces because I haven't been recording in the studio as often. My views plummeted. I just can't stand what this family feud has led us to. Don't get me wrong. I don't wish anything horrible to happen to the Capulets, but it would be so much easier if they weren't here.
Though Romeo's actions seem to have little effect on the unwavering love between Romeo and Juliet, it appears that keeping their marriage a secret this entire time had its own consequences. Juliet's parents had other plans for their daughter.
My sweet Juliet, you must be so overwhelmed with everything that's been occurring lately. Even I am quite anxious at the thought of it, and that cursed villain Romeo is still alive. Anyway, I've come to you with happy news in a dark time.
What is it?
Your dear father and I have arranged a day in which you will be married. The groom will be Paris, and you will marry him next Thursday. Isn't that exciting?
No, Mother, please, I will not. I would rather marry that villain Romeo than Paris. If there ever comes a day I must marry, I'll only marry if it were truly a matter of life and death.
Juliet.
Hello, my dear. Have you told her the news?
I did, but she's not taking it well.
I thought you would thank me, for Paris is such a lovely young man. You will marry him, even if I must drag you there.
Calm down, dear.
Father, please don't yell.
Juliet, do not talk back to your father. Either you do this next Thursday or never speak to me again.
Poor girl. Sir, you not need be so aggressive.
What gives you the right to dictate my actions? You act as if Juliet were your own daughter, but you are merely her nurse.
I believe I know what's best for her.
I don't believe it, not for an instant.
Mother, will you show me kindness since my father has failed to? Surely you.
Not a word, Juliet. I am done here.
Oh God, nurse, what should I do? I have made a mistake.
Juliet, Romeo is banished. And I think it is best that you marry Paris. He will make you happy, even if your love for him is not quite as strong as your love for Romeo.
You mean it?
I do, with all my heart and soul.
Thank you for offering me such comfort. If anyone asks me, then tell them I have gone to Friar Lawrence to be absolved from my sin.
So, Friar Lawrence, what happened when Juliet went to you?
She was in deep distress and dreaded the idea of marrying Paris while her true love was banished. Juliet had begged me to find a way to prevent the marriage and even threatened to end her life if I did not. So, I gave her a potion that would make her appear to be dead.
Oh, and how would that help her?
The plan was that once her family had discovered that she had died, they would put her in the Capulets' burial vault. While those unfortunate events were occurring, I would have my brother send a letter to Romeo informing him of the plan. From there, Romeo would seek him into Verona, find Juliet, awaken her, and then the two of them would run off together.
Hello, Juliet, my wife.
Not your wife yet. Would you please leave me so the father and me can have a moment alone to confess my sins?
Yes.
If that's all right with him.
Yes, of course. Okay, Juliet. See you Thursday.
What am I supposed to do? Please advise me if there's something that I can do. If you don't give me help, I will use this knife. It'll be more of a mercy than going through with that marriage.
Stop, Juliet. I have a solution for you if you do not want to marry Paris. Drink this the night before your wedding day. Don't let anyone see, not even your nurse, and you'll presumably be dead when Paris comes to wake you up.
It's not real, right? Will this actually work?
Yes, you won't have a pulse, but you'll run deathly pale and everyone will think you're dead. You will be brought to your family's crypt and Romeo will be waiting for you. It will work as long as you have the courage to do it.
But Friar, will you let Romeo know of this plan?
Yes, I will. Don't worry. I will send him word through my brother.
Thank you. I owe you my life.
How exciting. My Juliet is getting married to the one and only Paris. He is set to inherit a multi-million-dollar business. Isn't he just perfect for her?
Yes, indeed, quite the charming young man.
Now, nurse, go get Juliet from her room. Paris is coming soon and I want to make sure that she is dressed perfectly. What happened? She's dead! No, not my Juliet, not my Juliet.
Is Juliet ready?
No. She's dead! No! My Juliet is dead!
We held her funeral, laid her stiffened body in a coffin, and placed her in the burial vault with the rest of the Capulets' deceased relatives.
After listening to the other interviewers, there's something that doesn't add up. You were mentioned at the beginning of the scene of the crime, but I don't remember you ever telling about these events in your interview. Care to explain?
Well, you see...
What are you hiding, Friar? What aren't you telling me?
Alright, I admit it. Here's the full story. What are you doing here? This is your fault. You have no right to be here and mourn for Juliet.
Juliet!
Don't disrupt Juliet. Stop it right now.
Paris, leave me alone. You of all people have no right to be at Juliet's tomb at this time. Now go away.
No.
Oh, Juliet, you look so beautiful and lifelike now. You don't even look dead.
Romeo! Juliet! Paris! No! you doing here? Romeo, no! When was this happen?
I'm so sorry, Juliet, but we have to go now. Danger is coming.
I will not. I'll stay with Romeo until I die.
I must go, I'm sorry.
Why does it have to be this way? Why can't we be alive and be happy together, without fear? My love, Romeo, I will join you in death. Goodbye, world.
The next time we saw Juliet, she was dead in the burial vault with a knife in her hand, lying next to a dead Romeo in Paris who had been shot. Friar Lawrence was there too, alive, but he looked very distressed.
My wife, my son, I lost them both.
Juliet Capulet consumed an elixir that had temporary effects upon her state. This potion was given to her by Friar Lawrence, who has great experience with concocting potions from herbs, which can be a very dangerous process and should not be attempted by an unprofessional individual. This potion that he gave to her, I believe, contained Atropa belladonna, or as you may know it, deadly nightshade. Atropa belladonna has the possibility to induce slowed breathing, slowed pulse, sedation, pale skin, and a dry mouth, which can make someone look presumably dead. However, Romeo Montague's potion was much different. It was a fast-acting poison that quickly killed him. While the detective was unable to locate the source with which Romeo obtained this potion, the autopsy proved that the potion contained cyanide, specifically potassium cyanide, which is a very fast-working poison. Potassium cyanide releases hydrogen cyanide gas, which is a highly toxic chemical asphyxiant that interferes with the body's ability of using oxygen, affecting organ systems that are susceptible to low oxygen levels.
Okay, I told you about the letter I'd sent to Romeo concerning Juliet taking the sleeping potion. I guess it didn't reach him, and I feel terribly guilty for not giving it to him in person. I guess I feel partially responsible for the death of Romeo.
Partially? If you hadn't intervened, both Romeo and Juliet would be alive today.
Okay, stop. I know that. Just let me finish. After Romeo died, I reached the tomb, because at least I had realized my mistake. Juliet was waking up, and I told her to leave the tomb before the guards all came and got us in trouble. Juliet wouldn't listen, and well, who am I to tell a young girl what to do?
She was 13. It seems like you barely tried to get her to go with you. The reason she died is because she stayed in the tomb all alone.
I'm sorry. I just thought it wasn't my place to intervene in Juliet's decision.
Wow. Okay. I think we know everything there is to know. Thank you for your time.
No, wait.
How did you both and Lord Montague end up at the crime scene at the night of Romeo and Juliet's deaths?
Well, we couldn't sleep that night. Juliet had just died, and we were mourning her. She and Tybalt died so closely apart, and it was very hard on us.
Yes, and we heard noises outside. Very loud commotion coming from the direction of the cemetery. So we decided to head in that direction, and I assume it was the same for Lord Montague.
Oh, what did you see when you arrived?
Well, walking up, we saw Lord Montague and Mr. Prince. Once we arrived at our family's crypt, we saw Friar Lawrence, distressed and on a phone call, which I'm guessing was with 911, and the reason that Mr. Prince was there.
He was rambling on about a marriage that happened and 3 deaths.
That's when we saw the body.
When you arrived at the crime scene.
Outside the crypt, there was a murdered body on the floor that we later found out was Paris. The forensic examiners determined that he had succumbed to a gunshot wound found in his chest.
Then Friar Lawrence told us that my son had married the Capulet girl,
and that they both had died inside the crypt. I just wish I would have known to arrive earlier. Maybe all this could have been prevented.
Friar Lawrence begged us to stop our rivalry. He desperately told us that our feud caused their deaths, that their fate could have been prevented if not for our prejudices.
It is with great regret that I have continued to engage in this rivalry for so long. The violence that has been caused by it has taken everything away from me. Will you forgive me for my role in all your suffering?
Yes, of course, as long as you can grant forgiveness for us to the same as we have done to you.
I agree. We're just as responsible as you think yourself to be. I regret the extent to which our feud has reached and how that impacted our lives so greatly. If you approve, we declare that our feud is now terminated and that we can push aside our differences.
I would love that.
Finally, after years of rivalry between the Capulets and the Montagues, they finally have come to an agreement of peace. Unfortunately, the cost of this tranquility was inexplicably high, taking the deaths of many individuals that will never be forgotten, including the young Romeo and Juliet. May the memory of them be forever present and cherished within Verona County.